Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at the Vucom iSpace 2. This is a smart DLP Pico projector that sells for around $150, has Android and Wi-Fi built on in, and a pretty clever rotating design that you can use to flick the lens open and also close it to protect it. And when you actually close it, it turns into a Bluetooth speaker mode that you can use to blast out more sound when you link it to a phone, for example. It's from the folks over at AbramTech, which you guys may recall we've checked out a few of their Bluetooth speakers earlier in the year. More of a speaker and audio brand, to be completely honest, and that projector part is really the newer component for them. It has 250 ANSI lumens, again using Pico DLP technology, which is how it's able to become so compact. And I do believe that it supports input up to Full HD 1080p, but the native resolution output, like most DLP small pocket projectors, right now seems to be around 480. It also comes with a tripod that they claim is also attached magnetically using a MediaTek processor. It does have a small fan as well to prevent any overheating. 2.4 and 5G Wi-Fi. So it comes in a box here that you can flip open to have the projector on the inside. It says one family, one world. It also is carefully protecting even the inside. And other accessories include access to the remote control, which you even get two AAA batteries included in the box, quick user guide, along with the charger, which is foldable, almost like a laptop charger, and it's using a barrel plug to provide power. This is one thing that maybe I do think they should change to just using power delivery via Type-C to charge, since there is actually a Type-C port on here, but it's only for data, which I, again, just don't think makes the most sense anymore these days, but it is what it is. Now we finally do have the aforementioned magnetic tripod. Just sticks into place with a thunk when you have it into a close enough proximity, which is pretty neat. This entire tripod, by the way, is pretty hefty because it is constructed out of solid chunk of aluminum alloy. Here it is next to something like a typical phone these days, so you get the idea. Easy enough to put into a backpack and it will still travel with you without any issues. In the normal mode, again, everything is closed, but you can kind of rotate the hinge and that will flick things open to reveal both the I/O as well as the lens on the other side. Again, the entire thing is made out of aluminum alloy. The mechanism here feels tight. It's spring assisted, so everything opens and closes with a satisfying click. There's also an ambient sensor on here, so when you close the door, the projector will also turn off into the sleep mode and go into the Bluetooth functionality. And there is still a threaded standard tripod adapter, so if you want to put it onto a usual mount, you can still do that, which is much appreciated. So taking a closer look at the aforementioned I/O, aside from having the built-in Android OS and wireless screen sharing, of course, you do have a full-sized HDMI port, which is great, safety power key, and there is that Type-C port, again, only for data, the infrared here for the remote, full-sized USB, which you can use to plug in a keyboard, thumb drive to read back files directly, and the charging port. Turning on the projector from a cold boot, it usually just takes under 5 seconds, so pretty fast, and there's two really boot options available. If you have a HDMI cable plugged in and you turn it on, and it does have a quick boot mode launch into outputting via HDMI and won't start the full Android operating system, saving you a little bit of time. But if you don't have anything plugged in, it will jump straight into Android. Right now the projector is completely turned on, but let's see what happens if we close up this door. You'll hear that within just a second there's a beep.
Bluetooth speaker mode.
Enter Bluetooth speaker mode, and after a few more seconds, we should hear that the fan from the projector has now shut off. So there's no more noise, it's not really using up any power, it's just completely a Bluetooth speaker now. Alright, so turning things down, just a few takeaways there being that, first of all, Bluetooth connectivity via 5.0 is perfectly fine. You won't have any issues in terms of latency or remaining connected, no issues there. And it is a stereo speaker, does have more volume if you turn it all the way up than what a phone can deliver. With that being said, I would still say that from the folks over at Abram Tech, this is not their best sounding speaker, but that's kind of to be expected. The speaker has to also share the space from other parts from the actual lens of the projector, so you end up with still a pretty small piece of the pie. In the lower frequencies, you just won't get as much of a kick as on some units that have a bigger driver or passive radiator. So anyways, if we open up the hinge here, just in under 1 second, you can see it turn on and once again back into the projector mode. So now we currently have a virtual screen size of around 50 inches, and again, like I said, even though the native output is only 480p, DLP Pico projectors often just look a lot better in person because of very good contrast, and surprisingly, 250 ANSI lumens is not bad. Of course, it's not going to be completely visible if you are shining it in broad daylight, but especially if you close the curtains and you're in a relatively dark space, it looks quite good. The built-in battery, by the way, will last usually for around 3 hours with Wi-Fi turned on, which is not bad. It'll get you at least through a movie or so's worth, and you can also operate it while it's being charged and plugged in at the same time. So anyways, the overall UI, as you can see here, is quite simple to operate, and similar to other Android TV boxes and projectors, it has these oversized icons to use with the 4-way D-pad of your remote. Settings will open up here from the edge, allowing us to connect to a different Wi-Fi resource, as well as change some of the display properties, including the brightness level, the projection mode, if you want to flip the orientation. If you're being super nitpicky and you zoom all the way in, arguably you can still make out a few pixels, but overall, again, from afar, even text details, especially images, already looks quite good, including YouTube, some of the screen mirroring tools. Netflix is also built on in, and there is a app store, but this app store is not the standard Google Play Store. It's actually been curated to include just apps which have a little bit easier targets to hit using the remote, so TV optimized apps. And again, because of the dual band Wi-Fi, at least the download speeds are really fast, as you can see there, which is pretty impressive, and overall the UI feels responsive and pretty well optimized. Again, very basic built-in screen mirroring tools, both for iOS and Android alike, work exactly as expected. I'm just going to tap on the source, and it is very fast here in terms of the overall responsiveness, thanks to that dual band Wi-Fi. And really, you do get a little bit of latency, just like any wireless screen sharing app, but it's not bad at all. A few other neat tricks include the ability to jump into a widescreen mode, and you can do that just by a tap of a key using the remote if you want to stretch the aspect ratio. Now I have it linked using HDMI to a computer, so you can use this if you want even less latency. You can also connect it to other, of course, gaming consoles, Nintendo Switch, if you want even better connectivity, and it also offers a good idea of what smaller text details might look like. Again, with projectors in this resolution range, I wouldn't say things like presentations and super tiny text would be its forte. If we zoom in a bit more, it might be a little easier to read, but not too bad, I would say, for what it is, but wouldn't really be my first choice for a business presentation projector. Otherwise, we can jump into playing back a video and see how that fares, and also give you guys an idea there. Again, the speaker quality we already heard earlier in the Bluetooth mode, but same experience can be found here. And like I said, overall it's very impressive as far as the colors and the saturation is concerned, really quite vivid for a projector of its size. Oftentimes DLP will outperform LED and LCD larger home projectors when it comes to just packing in a little bit more, especially in the budget range. If you're just trying to lie in bed, watch a few Netflix shows or some YouTube videos, I think you really won't be disappointed with the overall experience here, especially as you get immersed in the movie. Perfectly great experience that you'll be getting for the image quality. And something so small, again, it's very versatile in terms of you can take it with you. If you want to go to, let's say, a dorm, into just a new environment, easily pop it onto the ceiling, onto the wall, watch movies and entertainment in general. It is 60 frames per second, and overall does work pretty nicely for things like light gaming as well, connecting it to a PC or a console. Wouldn't say there's too much motion blur or anything like that. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Vucom iSpace 2. Definitely is a very cute and nicely designed and engineered mini Pico projector. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.